So now what we're going to do is put this back into Amazon. So I was trying to look for a copy so you can see me, so I wasn't using Control C and Control V and all that stuff. But let's go back to our Lambda. I'm sure I have it open somewhere. Let's go into here. Now Lambda is kind of funny because there is a programming term for Lambda. 1 hour ago, this is it. Okay, so there is a programming thing for Lambda. If you don't know what that is, then you know it gets kind of confusing sometimes. So I basically copied and pasted. Now I found out the other day if you use Visual Studio Code, it gives you an error about copying and pasting over, and that's when I found out the name of this. It's a very common name too, or at least a name I've heard before. If it errors out, copy it to a notepad and then bring it over. Okay, and you can also do things like make this large where you can see it, which is kind of cool. But we can see that our stuff is in here. There's no white spaces. Everything seems okay. So what we're going to do now is deploy it. And it successfully deployed. All right, so let's go ahead and collapse that. Now, the one thing we want to do now is go create our API. We could test this, but I guess we could. You want to test it? No, let's go create our API first. I want to, but let's go create our API. Ready? Okay, so I took a massive break. Let's see where we left off though. But just search for APIs, right? And the whole point of the serverless is the fact that we're going to create an API without having to write code, which is kind of cool. So you can see there's HTTP, WebSockets, REST. The REST is going to be a little bit more detailed. We're just going to stick with the basic HTTP, and we're just going to give it a name. And I don't want to do this little walkthrough, so I'm just going to see if I can say review and create. Because we'll do it over here in the routes and stuff. And we'll do it over here in the menu, so it makes more sense. So there we go. So this is ours. We're going to now create some routes. So on the routes, we want post, and we'll call this code generation, right? Because that was kind of our key at the beginning. Sorry. There we go. And that's another reasons why I kind of stuck it over here in the notepad. Now that I'm more of awake, we can actually do some more stuff, but let's just grab this so I don't misspell it because that's kind of important. And let's get rid of that little space. Now, this is going to create the API for us, which is great. So now what we need is a route. So let's go ahead and create some routes, and that's where we're at. We're going to attach a route, and over here we can create one. Let's go and grab our integration. We want to say Lambda functions. And if you remember, make sure this environment, that's another reason why it's important. But now it loads our Lambda functions, which is great. And I believe it's this one, generation builder. And then let's just verify that. Oh, I can't do that. So one thing I wish the Mac would do versus the Windows, because now we got to open all these, right? So it's this one. No, let's just do it this way. Lambda. And yeah, it's the builder 1 hour ago. So there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that one and just say create. And just like that. So what's going to happen now, you're going to see it in a few minutes, but when this API fires off, it's going to fire off into our actual, it's going to kick off our Lambda functions. Let's go ahead and deploy. Now you can have stages. I don't have any stages, so let's go ahead and cancel. And let's go there and create a stage. I don't know if it will let me do it this way, but we're going to try. So we're going to go back into here, and we're going to create a stage. And I'm going to say create. Here it is. I'm sorry. Create. And we'll call it dev, just for kicks and giggles. And we're going to set create. I'm going to ignore all this other stuff for now. And that's fine. So deploy and to dev and go. So let's close this. And now we're back to here. I don't know if it's smart enough to know that we just did that or if we got to do it again. Yeah, it does say, okay, cool. And we are overriding our settings. That's fine. So that's kind of it. So let's go ahead and see if we can do one more for kicks and giggles. And that's what I kind of did over here. See how fast that was? If I click on this, I can actually see I have an API deployed to dev. And that's going to be here. So let's see if we can create one more for kicks and giggles. Let's go back to our routes. And we're going to create another route, and we're going to make this one a get, and that's fine. We'll say default get. Now what I want to do now is attach another integration here, and here let's see, create, and I want to choose integration type. We'll say HTTP URL, And I'm just doing this for test purposes. www.anisolutions.com, and we'll say create. Now, just in a couple clicks, we actually created 2 endpoints with no servers and no code. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and deploy. We're going to deploy back to dev. Yes, we'll go overwrite our settings. And now we should be good. So if we go back up here and click on this, it still says deploy. So let's just be safe. Deploy it one more time and go. And if oh, okay, so it took us up there. So we're good. Did both of them get deployed? I'm pretty positive they did, but we're going to do it anyway just to be safe. And now we'll go back up to here. Now, if I hit this endpoint here, let's see if this actually works. Go here. Oh, we deployed to dev, so we need dev. And this is a get. Let's just see if this one works. Oh, not found. Okay, so what did we do wrong? Okay, so let's look. The one thing is it went to dev. I wanted to go to, oh, dev is disabled. So auto deploy, no, I'm sorry. Auto deploy is disabled, which is fine. If I go back to my routes though, my get route, did I deploy it to the right place? Let's go to deploy and choose here, deploy. Okay, and then let's go to post and make sure it's deployed to the right place. Okay. And now let's go back to here and what happens. Okay, so it says it's not found there. I'm really not going to waste time figuring that one out because if I do it here, it shows up here, preview, and now I can see we brought back our page. The one I care most about though is, I'm still kind of confused on why that was not being deployed to the right area, but that's okay. Like it should be deployed to here, but it's deployed to there. So that's just kind of a deployment thing. So deploy, maybe I can just do it this way, dev. It says it was successfully created, but not deployed. I would love to get it deployed to dev because I think that's where our other one is. It still says not found. Okay, so let's just go ahead and test this one. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure this one is deployed though to dev. And it may be this overwriting thing. When you deploy API existing stage, you immediately overwrite the current stage configuration. To me, I don't really care because I'm not changing the configuration. But that may be something you want to look into. But right now, I don't really care. Let's go over here. And where's our Postman? Right here. And let's go ahead and create some JSON. Okay, so if we remember our keys, what we need to do is do a body and raw. And let's see, where is our Lambda? Let's go ahead and open this up to here. And let's do Lambda. Oops, I'm sorry, not APIs. Let's get back to our Lambda. Actually, we probably could look at this better with our code. But now the cool thing is if we go in there and look, we now can see our code generator is actually tied to this gateway. How cool is that? So, oh. Did I put it in the wrong? Yeah, I probably did. That's okay. Let's delete those because that one seems to work. Oh, I know what it is. I deleted those as testing. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove those. Close. And there we go. So it should be just this one. Okay, so we're good. And that is the API for it. So if we grab this, because that's what we're going to need. And let's grab this. Put that there. And this is going to be a post. Okay, so what we need to pass in is some values. If you remember our code, let's go to code. And the values we're going to pass in is we need a message and a lang type. Okay, so let's just keep it simple. So, message. And a, oops. I thought I copied that. Control V. Yeah, I did. Lang type. We're just going to do Python for now. Okay. And we'll say, what is 2? We'll keep it stupid simple for now. 2 times 2. Send. See what happens. Cross your fingers. Oh, look at that. We got a message back of 200. So one thing we can do is, now I know there's going to be a boo-boo on purpose, so we'll look at that in a few seconds. But if I click on monitor and if I click on my watch logs, I can actually go in here and see the logs. But this is a great way to debug. Oh, we're good. Okay, so one thing we want to think about too is our duration, but I think we're okay. Let's go look at our S3 bucket. So S3. And we named this one, right? Yeah, September 8th. Oh, see, there's no code there. So now we need to see why. And that is a perfect way, because even though it came back and said that it was valid, it wasn't, right? Okay, cool. So the one thing we need to do too is update our, oh, that's right. We have to add a layer. Okay, cool. So let's go back and work on that real quick.